الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters, and a Ramadan Mubarak to you all, inshallah. I wanted to start this series off as a reminder for myself, inshallah, and all of us that we're living in very, very difficult times. There was a study that was done that there was 27% of families that are estranged. That means they're not talking at all to one another anymore. And this is really staggering. This is really scary statistics. So imagine the other 73%. That what are they doing and how are their conversations, and are they keeping up even once a year or something? Estranged means completely out of the picture. So how often do they meet up? How often do they talk to one another? And so we have to really, inshallah, as brothers and sisters, to remind each other of the importance of family. And I have, alhamdulillah, my wife and I, we have 4 kids. They're all teenagers. And it's really difficult, right? And I could tell you it's difficult, especially with all these devices and gadgets and all these things that we have around, these distractions that we have around us. It makes it more difficult for us to communicate with each other. It's really easy to communicate with people around the globe, but sometimes within our own homes, it's really, really difficult. And so I'm going to start this Iftar chats, series, inshallah, this Ramadan. Each night, I'm going to be giving you, each family, a discussion prompt, an ayah and a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we could, inshallah, discuss at the iftar table, at the dinner table. We could talk about it on the way when we're dropping them off to school in Ramadan, or on the way to pray Salatul Isha and Salatul Taraweeh together. So all these different times where we could take this advantage of this time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with to communicate with each other. And each night I'm going to try to explain the verse and the hadith just a little bit and give a few tips, inshallah, so that you could have some discussion points or prompts that you could use when you're talking at the table. And so in Surah Ibrahim, ayah number 7, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about gratefulness. And He says, بَعْدَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and remember when your Lord proclaimed, when He called out, you could say, تَعَذَّنَا يَتَعَذَّنُ تَعَذُّنُونَ, proclaimed something to make something very known. And then He gave a conditional statement. لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. He says, if, and he's emphasizing with lam ta'keed in both of these words, that if you are grateful, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ, if you all are grateful, لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ, that for sure, no doubt about it, right? This is like double, triple emphasize in this word. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase you. And so we're learning over here that gratefulness, this attitude of gratefulness or gratitude, is going to, inshallah, give us a lot of benefits in this dunya. And I'm going to be sharing a few of those benefits in a couple minutes. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't specify what that increase will be in, but He keeps it general. And then He says, وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ, and then the second condition you could say, that if you all are ungrateful, if you are you have ingratitude, then إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ, then indeed, there's no doubt about it, certainly, lam ta'keed again over here, عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ, that my punishment, my adhab is severe. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us how many benefits we could have for, inshallah, being grateful, and on the other hand, how bad it could be and how severe Allah's punishment is for those people who are ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the hadith I mentioned, inshallah, that you could look at, it's in Sunan Abi Dawood, in Kitab al-Adab, Bab fi Shukr al-Ma'ruf, The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, عن أبي هريرة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يشكر الله من لا يشكر الناس. That whoever is not thankful to mankind, grateful to people, he is not grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us to be grateful to other people as well. It's not just for being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we have to show gratefulness and being thankful to other people who are around us. Now, I'm going to mention a few benefits, inshallah, and some ways we can incorporate gratitude in our daily lives. So first of all, the benefits. There's so many different studies that were done that it's proven that the people who have more gratefulness or gratitude, they have more energy, they have better sleep, they have better physical health. They have more enthusiasm, they have more optimism, and they're content, they're happy in their lives. And normally they have a higher level of success than people who are ungrateful. They are doing better in their professional realm, their academic achievements, their money making, their friendships, their parenting, relationship building, and having healthy relationships with others. And so it's really, really important for us to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be thankful and be grateful for the people and the blessings that we have around us. And now, how can we incorporate that into our gratefulness into our daily lives? First of all, saying thank you. Saying thank you to your wife, your spouse, right? Or your husband. Saying thank you to your kids, especially when they're older. Things that maybe the different chores and different things that we just don't really appreciate them for anymore. Them working and without us having to yell or talk to them about it, them just doing their homework and trying hard, inshallah, every single day. So building this attitude of being thankful or saying thank you when you're outside the home, when you're inside the home, to each other, inshallah. Next thing you could do is a gratitude journal. And I can't emphasize this enough. 3 maybe things or 4 things every single day of Ramadan especially. Make a gratitude journal and write down 3 or 4 things that you are grateful for. And the next day, look at that list, review it, and do not repeat it. And so think of 3 or 4 other things that you are grateful for. And keep going throughout the month. Inshallah, at the end of the month, you will have 100 things or more that you are grateful for to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to each other. And we could, when times are down, we could go back to that list to think about those things and remember this gratitude or how grateful we should be. The other thing is at bedtime, before we go to sleep, making wudu, praying 2 salat al-nawafil, basically just extra, and maybe even you could call it salat al-shukr, right? Being thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or do sajda shukr, right? So before you go to sleep, you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His blessings, for His all the different things that He's doing, for us being alive in Ramadan and having this beautiful opportunity to do good, and to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then to make dua. Make dua, and that'll be inshallah one of the next nights, so we'll talk about it. But don't forget your brothers and sisters in Gaza and the other parts of the world, in Sudan and so many different parts of the world where Muslims are suffering. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease that suffering. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings this month. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let us build this a strong tie, a relationship with our kids, so that it lasts and we are role models to them as they grow older and they're in their adult life, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan. Barakallahu feekum. Please don't forget to share and like and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.